Woo, welcome to Comically Gaming, episode 124.
Bravo.
This episode
Bravo.
of 2019.
We made it.
Yeah.
Another
How you
year.
guys been?
Another year wiser.
2 years?
Very true.
I don't know the exact, I know how many episodes we did, but I don't know the exact, weekend that we started or whatever. I feel like it was in the spring, but I'm just guessing.
April.
Yeah? You know
April 5th. Yeah.
that? Oh, nice. Look at
I
our
go back and
stories.
watch
Not even an
those?
original member.
Jeff and I watched them. I don't know if y'all watched any lately, the old ones.
Man, that's crazy how far we've
Lived
come.
them.
Yeah, lived them. The best one was when Nate was moving to Colorado Springs. He's like on the floor.
I remember that one. Yeah, but anyways, I guess I'll start it off. It's kind of our weeks, kind of our months, maybe, at least for me.
The holidays.
It's. I just wanted to talk about this because I know no one else will, and I'm probably not the right person to talk about it because I suck. But Smash Bros. Released for the Switch. Smash Bros. Ultimate. Every character, huge deal, especially for Smash fans, which there's millions of them. I got mixed feelings about it because it is fun, but I always get beat. So it's
Just like tennis. You're just not good at games, dude.
fuck off. It's just
You're playing with trash.
it's the first Nintendo console I've owned that I've ever played multiplayer with. So everybody who's had Wii's and shit are just way better than me, and it would take me to dedicate only playing Smash all the time by myself to be able to compete with these guys, and that's not happening because I don't like playing it by myself that much as the other games I have to play. But really fun. It is cool how many people love it. Like I had gone to many Smash parties where it's me and all the dudes hanging out, and I'm just getting destroyed. And then at some point, I'm just like, oh, you guys I'm just gonna get drunk. Fuck off.
So Corey, that's the past two Smashes I did play and just got into it. I never played before that, and I gotta say, for me, I don't like playing with other people either. I just play it to unlock all the characters, and whatever it takes to do that, and consider that, and that usually takes me 20 hours or something. And I have a good time doing it. I learn all the dudes. I play the different ones. Just check them out, see which ones I like, which ones I don't. And then at least in that party situation, you can at least step up a few times if you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's all I hope for. Is just I never hope to win. I just hope to get some kills. Especially if I kill one of the best guys, it's usually a lucky. But
Yeah.
but pretty fun. It is cool on the Switch. I'd like to talk about. I might talk about the Switch later if we get to it. But it's really cool bringing it to work. And we'll play it at work together. My buddy, I'll be like, "You bring your Switch." We're like, "Oh yeah, we'll play it at work." Then we'll go to my buddy's house, throw it in a stack. I'll bust off my Joy-Cons. We'll each have our own controllers. Switch is badass. I've really grown to love it lately, and it's a great concept. Best thing Nintendo's ever created.
In the call center that I work in, people playing Switch all up in that place. Every row has 3 Switches in it.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that explains a lot.
That's great. But so that was that. Try to keep it short. That's it. What's up, Dirt?
Pass the baton. I did a whole bunch during the holidays, but I'll keep it short and sweet. My lead off, I just finished reading, or I'm in the midst of reading, the J. Michael Straczynski run on Amazing Spider-Man. It's from the early 2000s. It includes the 9/11 issue.
Really?
I don't know if you guys read that one.
Yeah.
That was a heavy issue, man.
I have it.
But I was actually recommended to it. I follow Donnie Cates, the guy that writes Venom and Cosmic Ghost Rider and Thanos Wins. Somebody asked him what his favorite Spider-Man run was, and he mentioned JMS. So that's why I went back to check it out. It's awesome. It's you can tell it's kind of dated. There's some stuff that probably wouldn't fly well today.
It's
but,
weird how much the world's changed, huh?
Oh, dude.
It's
yeah,
weird.
even from the early 2000s to now.
In 10 years.
Well, it's
Yeah,
like that
but,
Sandman Ramadan.
Yeah, exactly. But you can totally see there are some similarities to Donny Cates' writing. I think some threads in there in that first story arc. Now I'm on the third story arc, and it's not. You can tell like the excitement of him writing it, I think, has kind of died off. But the first story arc was awesome.
Nice.
Definitely like pinnacle Spider-Man. And it's one that I wasn't familiar with. There are no like major Spider-Man villains in it. It's like some new characters, and it was really good. The other thing is I just got Steep today for PlayStation. The wife and I have been playing it, and we're both like completely addicted to it already.
Yeah.
It's super good.
I love it. It's a
I-
Zen experience.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, I love it. Like,
Yeah.
like once you get into the flow of it, and you're like,
Yeah.
oh, so good. Did y'all have a favorite? I'm right now. Boarding is my favorite, but
I board it all the time.
It's built around that first, it feels like to me.
yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Until you follow Nate and we have to like nature hike.
Scoot up a mountain
I was
for
like, okay,
an
one
hour.
time I made a mistake.
One time we were like walking on a frozen lake and
For an hour.
for an hour.
Yeah. So I love it. And then
That's the
she
goal in that. That game's great. I love it too.
it is. It's awesome. And then she got Overcooked, which she is completely addicted to.
Nice.
Nice. And then the third thing is I finished Eberron. So I started Ravnica, the D&D setting. I think, Corey, you have that?
I got it. Yeah, I haven't really read much into it yet. But.
It's awesome. I was really critical, and I wasn't anticipating liking it because it didn't appeal to me. The description of it being a planet-sized world just didn't do anything for me. But once you start reading into it, it gets super weird. It's a very strange setting.
It's cool.
The guilds, it's all about guild actions.
Yeah, guilds, yeah.
Yeah,
So it's
12
called
guilds.
Master's Guide.
Yeah, and you basically, when you're making your character, it's not as far away from your original PC build-up as Eberron is. You don't have to read as much. But when you're making your character for Ravnica, that's one of the options is you pick a guild. Everybody's part of a guild. So it's very political in nature. It's very just urban settings and crazy races. So I've just scratched the surface, but I don't know. I'm going to see what people want, if they want Eberron or if they want Ravnica. But it's going to be one of those two for the next setting I DM. So we'll see.
Nice.
All right.
Eberron's, there's no books about Eberron.
There's a
right?
PDF.
There's no
Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah.
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 But it's an official release. It's not it's not third party or anything. It's just I think it's going to be the I'm betting the official release this year comes in a
Probably.
hardcover. So
That'd be nice.
cool, Jeff. What you up to, man? How you doing?
Hey, dude,
Oh, good.
I actually did I caught up in a lot of movies. Actually, I got a buddy of mine has a Plex server, which he downloads.
Yes.
He downloads movies, and some of them are questionable. When they have watermarks, it says property of something and not to be
I don't know
distributed.
if I admit that.
Yeah. Flex is
Well, I tried to say the company. But no, I caught up in some movies, and I was glancing at Nate's notes. But yeah, I watched that movie Bird Box,
Let's get your ratings.
and I like Bird Box. I give it an 8.
okay.
I liked it.
I heard mixed things.
It wasn't like this great movie, and some of the acting was not the best. And
Scary
the
thoughts, not like.
I got to listen to those guys on
We
that
have,
one.
I feel
we have
like
such different tastes, man.
makes it one of the best movies of a year.
Not for me.
Yeah.
No, it was pretty good. I thought it was decent. That was a good movie. But no, I caught up on some other things. Like I watched Venom, which I wasn't really that impressed with, but I think I was trying to take it too seriously.
Sure.
And
you definitely have to turn your brain off for that one.
I watched that movie, The Predator, that came out in October.
Yeah, how was that?
It was all right. It was some of the acting was horrendous for the start. Like Olivia Munn,
looked like
she
that.
can't act.
No, she can't.
She cannot act.
She's a,
And the dude that
Call
played
Classic surgery.
the lead role, that God, he was terrible. But then the support were awesome, and actually made it. There's a lot of call to the original Predator in it, but
Cool.
like Sterling K. Brown plays in that movie as a
Wow.
support actor,
This is us.
as the antagonist.
What's your
Yeah,
score?
but this is us, Shaq.
What's my score? 6.
Okay,
Eh,
gotcha.
and it wasn't a great. And then my biggest thing is I've been working on getting ready for my own DM debut for our Underdark campaign, which is
We're excited.
going to be interesting because
I'm excited.
I'm changing everything because we're going to have a new tabletop to play around with, and
Fantasy Ground.
I figured out how to connect to myself and play against myself.
Oh, nice.
So it gives me so I can see what you guys will see,
Right.
and then I can make it a lot easier transition. And
It's surprising how different those two VTTs are. They're very different. They're not, to me,
and
they're
then
being
like
very
Dirk figured out how to like automatically uploaded his own token for his character, and I'm like, how'd you do that, dude? It's crazy. I think. And then
Can you school me just for a second on the Underdark? Like, I've spent any free time that I've spent like making my character, and I haven't been able to study the Underdark enough yet. Like, other than the fact that it's like super deep, is it caves? Do I think like mine castles like dwarves built? Like, what's
Caves.
is it all just caves, or is there more to it than that?
caves, underground lakes, and underground cities like Menzoberranzan.
Are there like
And-
full cities inside big
Yes.
caverns and
Yes.
stuff?
Like,
Okay.
Yeah.
like the Dark Elf cities they build their buildings into the stalagmites and stalactites and
So
stuff.
they hang.
It's cool.
So, like,
It
but
hangs.
there are like there's like gnome cities that they built like stone
Yeah.
structures into it. It's all
And then
different,
there's
but it's all
cool-
completely dark.
And then there's there's no sunlight. There are like algae and mosses that
Sure.
give off
Glow.
different glows at
Right.
certain times. But
excited, man.
that's why I did say that dark vision's pretty much. If you're not a dark vision race,
Couldn't do it. Yeah.
it's gonna be like Bird Box.
Mm-hmm. Right. Totally.
Shit.
And lastly, I've been playing this game on Steam called Atlas that came out, and it is a pirate-themed MMO.
Oh, that's cool.
And
I like
it's
it.
it's all right. It's survival MMO, and it's very granular with the crafting.
Hmm.
You start out with nothing, and you have to like punch trees and punch rocks to gather
Nice.
resources.
That sounds great.
So it's interesting. We built a galleon. I'm playing with some buddies on this other server, and we built a galleon. And it was crazy. But yeah, that's pretty much a real quick recap.
IRL. It's like 10 things.
All right. Okay. So I'm gonna blow through my. I don't know how you guys kept it to just a couple things when we haven't talked in a month. So I'm gonna just blow through these things, and I got a little show and tell also. So,
Time is of the essence.
yeah, I know. I'll do it in under the time that you took. Here we go. So I wrapped up my first D&D game. It was a success. Loved it. Gonna do it.
Great
Yes,
success.
it was.
I'll play
Very
D&D
good.
until I die at this point. I thought Bird Box was terrible. Once Upon a Deadpool was insane. It was in our theater in this whole city for 1 week, and then it disappeared. It came out on December 16th, and I was
Really?
waiting to take my kids to it on their break, and it was gone by the time Christmas break came on.
Wow.
Yeah, so lame, really lame. Bohemian Rhapsody, another movie me and Jeff heavily disagree on. I thought it was terrible.
Really?
Beat Breath of the Wild. Breath of the Wild, 10 out of 10, top 10 game of all time. I beat Dragon's Crown, which Dragon's Crown is like a 6, but it has really, really super great art. and is one of the best Vita games. If you own a Vita, hands down, I would suggest it for PlayStation. For PS4, they put out the Pro version. Yeah, if it was on sale for $20, I think it's worth getting just for the art, if that's the case. Aquaman. Nobody else saw Aquaman, huh?
No, not yet.
Aquaman's as good as Wonder Woman, in my opinion. Like, it's better than that Justice League and Batman versus Superman, but still, like, there was a moment when Aquaman and Mira were talking to each other, and I thought, God, this conversation is just as bad as the Anakin and Annie, or the Annie and Amidala love conversation.
Oh, no.
And it just brought up to my mind that, like, I'm comparing what Marvel is doing to the Empire Strikes Back, and I'm comparing what DC is doing to the prequels.
Yeah,
You know what
but
I mean?
Marvel
Like,
faltered and did the whole Battle of Naboo and the last Avenger.
Shut up. Don't bring that into my...
Don't do it.
into my analogy. Okay. I started Celeste finally. I'm through 2 chapters. I'm that far in. It's incredible.
It's crazy, isn't it?
Yeah, so that's all my stuff. My show and tell. This one I got for myself. It just happened to pop into my cart. It's Han Solo for my Imperial Assault game. So now I got Luke, Han, and Leia. My wife and Corey got me really nice dice, metal,
nice.
something heavy. I got not as cool as Jeff's, but I do got a dice tray.
Yeah.
I bought myself the next Dritz book from what I need to read. And
what was the book?
Streams of Silver. Yeah. Book 5.
Wow, dude, you're like way behind. Okay.
Yeah, that's the second one. And then Jeff got me Timeless, the current one that came out.
It's a beautiful cover.
30 before that.
I got my son this, and he's done with it now. Said it was great. And now I'm going
Venom?
with it. It is Venom.
Hell yeah!
Trade.
Yes.
It's like a drunk guy trying to show you how to drive.
Got Kill or Be Killed.
Did you start it?
Not yet.
Okay.
Very busy. I'm still trying to finish out Fable so I can send my buddy back his books. Dirk got me Descender.
Nice.
Great.
From my sister and my mother-in-law, I completed my D&D collection for everything that's not a campaign or not a story. Right now, I got all the 8th edition.
Solo.
Yeah, because I'm a glutton for punishment. I got the Warhammer.
Well, first showing shit, I got this
as well. And Warhammer, we're gonna play some.
We're
Warhammer.
gonna show everything right now.
I'm gonna put Warhammer on Roll20, and we're gonna play that for sure. I got just from my parents, the old school, the remakes of the old school Star Wars RPG.
Oh, nice.
It's definitely not really playable by today's standards, but super awesome for research. Like, really, I just have fun just reading it.
Just for some environment backstories and stuff.
Yeah, it's got really cool ideas in it for sure. And then Dirk showed this off last show. I got the Arcana book for D&D. I just figured
so good.
It's so inexpensive for how fat this thing is, and I just feel like it's going to disappear. There's going to be some day where it's just not available anymore, and I will have kicked myself if I didn't grab it.
You gotta grab it. Yeah. If money wasn't a thing, I'd get those alternate covers too. But
absolutely,
check that out.
Yeah.
Wow.
My sister got that from my sister, and my parents got me a cooler. Not cooler. This is awesome. Not cooler, but a great statue of Harley Quinn. But she's fragile as fuck, so I'm not gonna pick her up. But this one is metal. It's fucking
awesome.
Badass.
That is sweet.
Nice. All right. That's it.
It's awesome. Woo, that's our week. Our week.
Holiday.
Week month.
It's been too long.
It's back.
The old news.
News
back,
of the
new
week.
format. Back to the old school. News of the week. Because we missed it. We know you missed it. We don't know that for sure, but we missed it.
We missed
it. Number 5. AMC releasing 3 Walking Dead movies with Andrew Lincoln, Rick Grimes.
That is ridiculous.
It's ridiculous.
So, I don't know. Did you read it, Nate? Are they TV-only movies?
Yeah.
Yeah.
TV-only movies. Yep. It seems like that he just he's from the UK, right? And he's got a family and stuff. And I think he just said, look, I just can't be in Georgia all the time anymore. And so this is the plan that they came up with to make money in multiple ways, right? We'll see how this movie thing works. Have you seen the last episode he was in yet?
No.
Yeah, you need to watch that. You really do.
Plus, he was stuck in Georgia for 9 years. No, just
Yep.
Oh,
It's can't have really any more of a conversation about that until you watch that last episode he's in, because
that would be spoilers for everyone. So either way, we can't have
do
it.
that in spoilers.
it would spoil the shit out of everything.
We could do that in a spoiler topic some week.
Some millennia.
Number 4. Atlas teases Persona 5R. More information to be revealed in March 2019. But speculation
I've heard all kinds of things.
Everybody wants it to be on the Switch is the thing. It's what I read about it was that it's basically Persona 4 Golden. There was Persona 4 and there's Persona 4 Golden, which had new characters that they threw into it, new dungeons, new events, new destinations to travel to, just a bunch of added shit, basically. And then, so that almost makes it. If it was on PS4, if I could buy it for $20 when I already own Persona, like Persona 5, I would do it. But if they release it on Switch, I might just rebuy the whole game, even if it is $60, because it would be dope to play it again on the Switch.
That sounds like the Skyrim disease.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
but I think nobody hates on Persona 4 Golden though.
True. Yeah.
And that's basically what this is. It's from what I've read about
I never played it.
You can go ahead.
You can uninformedly do that if you'd like. I heard VR dance game. That's what I heard.
Yeah, I don't think so. I don't think that's
you don't even dance. You just watch the characters dance in VR. That's what I've heard.
What?
That's some really perverted Japanese kind of anime stuff.
If you play the other Persona dancing games, they are not perverted, shockingly, and I think that's what it would be, is like a full experience instead of just watching it like a movie screen or whatever in VR. It's a VR game where it's going on around you, like you're in the club. Yeah,
that does make sense because Oculus, they've been really promoting the Oculus to watch movies and stuff lately. So that kind of makes sense.
Whoever's developing VR out there, if you start doing anime, Corey will never leave
they're already
his house.
It's already started.
Yeah. It is Ready Player One Alpha.
Number 3. Go ahead, Nate.
The Soulja Boy console. Did you guys hear about this?
Yes.
Soulja Boy.
Did you hear about it when it happened, when he was selling it?
Yes.
No.
Yes.
I didn't hear anything.
This
School me on it.
He took a Raspberry Pi or whatever and threw a bunch of Nintendo games on it, and then sold it as the Soulja Boy console on his website. And he got interviewed by Rolling Stone, and there was this big interview where he said, the people who are hating on this and saying that this isn't legit, they don't understand the deals that I had to make in the background to make this all happen legit.
God.
And then.
Oh my god!
He put RetroPie emulator on a Raspberry Pi and put it in a console and
called it the
Soulja Boy console, and they just pulled it. I mean, I got a Raspberry Pi somewhere right here.
I know those things are going to be worth money. I should have bought one because I heard
I was thinking
about
the same
it when it was
thing.
still available.
Yeah.
Should have bought.
Do you guys know the dance?
I don't.
Yes.
I know what the dance is like.
Listen, so
This
can you
is a
explain
Raspberry Pi.
Yeah, explain that real quick. What
a Raspberry
Pi is? Yeah.
It's a computer that runs Linux. This is a full computer. It has an HDMI out power. It has I/O pins, 40 pins. Has 4 USB in Ethernet port, and it has Wi-Fi.
It's basically
and
an
runs off
emulator console.
No, it's a real computer.
For most people.
It runs off of an SD card.
Gotcha.
And that's all a Raspberry Pi is, and I have a wireless keyboard that I have a little case for.
I wonder what he was thinking, would happen, I guess.
I know it. It's
I don't
so
know
funny.
if he thought it would just like keep coasting, nobody would
Yeah, that's
notice
gonna
or
work.
pay attention.
I
Yeah.
know. When I went to vote
Uh-huh.
and I saw that nobody voted on this one, I had to make it my number one pick to make sure we talked about it because it's so ridiculous.
Yeah, I
can't believe it.
debated
I
voting
realize-
on it. I debated voting on it and saying something, but I was more interested in
I feel
some
like that's
other
a
ones.
cheating way to vote.
I
That
did
doesn't
though.
matter. But
Cheater
if you
vote.
want to talk about it, make it your priority.
That's true.
Number 2, Daredevil.
That was a good
Cancel.
conversation we had too.
Wow.
Sorry.
Boo boo.
And I had show and tell what a Raspberry Pi is.
Yeah.
Has anybody watched season 3?
I never watched Daredevil.
I watched the first 4 episodes.
I've heard that season 3 is by far the best of
Oh,
the
Yeah.
They
of
canceled
the,
it.
of
It
the
hasn't
series.
taken off yet, if that's the case. For me, anyways.
Yeah, I mean, I heard it's one of the better seasons in all the Marvel shows
Right.
done thus far, and it came. The cancellation came right after it dropped, right, or not long after.
Yeah, it wasn't very long after.
I
but what
don't
does
know
it
if
spell
Punisher-
for the other ones?
Yeah, I think Punisher's probably got the same fate awaiting it, but they do have one more season they're dropping. But you
I
know,
think, though,
Yeah,
a
I've
lot
know
of
where
kind of
this
people-
lost interest.
I've
in all
heard
of
you
them.
guys and a lot of
I
people
watched
say
Punisher.
that Punisher is much better than all
It
the other
is.
stuff, and I haven't
it
been
was.
able to watch it yet. And I just wonder if they're looking at that and saying, okay, this is the direction we want to go. These other shows are okay, but they're not great. We're
You
not
know
gonna
why,
Keep dumping
Nate?
money into them. Huh.
this is why I think Punisher separates itself from the pack. Is it's not corny like the other ones are.
Right.
No, it's not.
This doesn't have
right.
any of that corniness
Yeah.
at all.
Gritty and violent.
Same with
and raw.
Jessica Jones season 1.
Season
True.
1
Yeah.
was awesome.
Yeah, it's true.
Yes.
Because Killgrave is a great villain.
Yeah.
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 And
Well, yeah. Punisher's super gritty, super violent.
yeah, super violent.
Just incredibly dark, and it doesn't have any of that corny bullshit that what
really doesn't.
Fuzzy or whatever his name is.
Yeah, right. It's.
Yeah.
I
Fozzie.
mean, to my
Fozzie.
mind, if Punisher and Jessica Jones keep going out of all those shows, and they just canceled all the rest of them, then that's the right call. Like,
Yes.
they cut the fat
Yeah.
and they kept the good stuff. But we'll see if the Punisher comes out in the week after that. They say it's canceled going
That would
forward.
suck,
Then they're just
Because
some
it's
kind
been
of
so
Disney deal is
long.
cutting them out. Yeah, right.
It's Fox and the whole Fox Disney thing is really. I'm scared for Disney taking over a lot of the Marvel stuff.
Well, hold
That
on.
leads
Mark,
into our
moving
next
on.
story.
Number 1.
That's why we're.
Marvel and Fox coming soon. Kevin Feige said we could possibly see the Fox characters coming in within 6 months.
Development.
Which is unbelievable,
Right.
honestly. I guess development, which that's
Yeah.
believable for sure.
Which
How
I
long
hope
does
it's- I
how long
hope
does
it's
it
an
take to
Endgame.
develop a movie?
3 years, 4 years, depends on the CGI and how many reshoots you have to do. And
Right.
I wanna
Yeah.
see
It
the
takes a
teaser.
while.
I want to see the teaser post credits Endgame.
yeah,
Who
Yeah.
are you looking for in the X universe coming over that you want to see the most? Done by Marvel.
Gambit.
Me, Johnny, Sue, and
They're never gonna get Gambit right. I don't care who does it.
Fantastic
See?
Four.
We'll see. I trust them though.
I
Nice.
trust them, but
I
there's
do.
just no way in hell. It's gonna be like the Adventures of Bayou Billy. That's some bullshit. That's some bullshit.
I don't know. I trust them now.
But everything else, look, I mean, give me like a good
Wait, is the Fantastic Four Sony or Fox?
Fox.
Fox.
The only
Okay,
Sony.
so yeah, that's
Sony owns the
Fantastic
Spider Verse.
Yeah.
Sneeze.
Don't get
I'm
me
gonna
started
sneeze.
on Spider-Verse.
What?
Oh.
No, I don't know if I
First
have one
season.
pegged that I want to see the most.
Man
with-
Thing.
Man Thing would be awesome. But yeah, Fantastic Four needs to be done right, I think.
Yeah, they've gotten butchered so many times.
Yes.
Every one of them's been terrible.
It has.
And they're such a good team.
That book is hot right now, man.
I really
You-
want to talk about the Batwoman on the CW, and y'all just.
I know, you should have voted higher
You
for
should
it.
make
Yep.
number one. Yeah.
I
I
play with the votes, man.
I
Well.
watched
Batman one's coming to the CW. Yes.
I'm not
Like the
excited.
World Cup.
And that's it. That's your news for the week.
News of the week.
All right, so we gave you guys our top 10 lists of 2018 for everything, but I just wanted to have this quick segment, our highlights of 2018, or something that you were surprised you weren't going to be excited over, and it turned out to be awesome, or whatever. Just, what was the big thing that happened for each one of us in 2018? I'll start her off in the Nintendo Switch. I fucking love it. Like, I owned it in 2017. It came out late 2017, but I didn't realize its full potential. Nowadays, 2 of my friends that I work with have them, and it's fucking awesome. Like, because I've been working every day since Christmas. I've worked like 2 weeks straight, but I've still been able to play video games because I'll bring my Switch, my buddy will bring his Switch, and then his buddies will come up to the store after we're closed, and then we'll be like, I'll be like, you brought your Switch, right? And he's like, yeah. I'm like, bust out your Joy-Cons then. Pull his Joy-Cons off the Switch. We'll throw it on the front counter, and we'll play some Towerfall Ascension and have a super fun time and end up staying at the shop for an hour after we close before I go to bed. And then
explains a lot.
Yeah. And then you go to your buddy's house. Like, you want to play Towerfall? I'll drop my Switch in there. We'll play it. And then they'll be like, you want to play Smash? And then he'll drop his Switch in there. I'll take my Joy-Cons off, and then we each have our own controller for the Switch. It really, Nintendo's idea actually worked.
Right.
Like, it really worked, and it's super cool. Like, I bring my Switch with me every day now because you don't know. Now that I have multiple friends who have them, it's super convenient for everyone to have them. Yeah, you never know when it's going to happen.
Never know.
And it's really fun, and they actually nailed like local playing in an internet age. Like they somehow, like, everything is online now. Like Nate was saying, his son was, for the first time ever, wanted to stop hanging out with his friend to go home and play video games.
With the same friend.
Yeah, with the same friend. They split up hanging out. So they stopped hanging out and both went to their own homes so that they could play video games together. That's not the case with the Switch. We're all playing it together, and it's a great time. It brings back, like, couch gaming and on the go, and it's super. They nailed it, and it's super fun, and I recommend the Switch to anyone.
You convinced me with that speech, dude. You did. That's the first time I've been convinced.
That's what I'm trying to do. I really want to convince people to get Switch because it's so great.
So now you can just walk over to Nate's house and you guys can play Switch together once he gets the Switch.
Yeah, exactly. Quick walk.
Yeah. Forrest Gump it. Just run.
So when I thought about
I'm Ronnie.
When you said that you wanted to do this topic, and I thought about this, I immediately, like, all of our minds went to D&D when we were chatting about it, and we've talked that up though.
We did.
And when I think about it, really, when I look back, like, for the rest of my life, I'm going to play D&D, and I expect it to be a quality that gets kind of better and better and better, right? And this wasn't the first year I started D&D, so I really think that when I look back, like, 20 years from now, on 2018, right? What's it going to be? I think it's going to be Infinity War. Like, I'm trusting. We'll see. I'm usually the grumpy old man here, but I'm trusting that Endgame is going to be so awesome that it's going to knock our socks off, and that these Avengers movies are going to go down in history like the old school Star Wars movies. And this, and this cliffhanger that we're living in right now is going to be significant. I think it's significant. And it's funny because even right after I saw the movie, I wasn't kind of struck that way. But the more I kind of think about it over time, over this year, over watching it again, like, I think that'll be it. I think we'll be talking about
it's
these
still a hot
Avengers
topic
movies forever.
Even 6 months later after it came out, half the memes are still with the dust fading away.
Yeah.
People are waiting to see the resolution of what the fuck happens here. It's
like, what would happen to say? Yeah.
I trust them that it's going to be awesome. That it's not just going to be like time zone, reverse time, and pop back. It's going to be something way fucking cooler than that.
Yep. I hope so. Yeah, for sure. And it's basically, it's like the Star Wars of today.
Yep.
All
right. Dirk,
totally.
what do you got?
I thought my year in comic books was unparalleled. I don't know if I've ever read as much as I did in 2018.
Nice.
And we're seeing some of the best books, but I think there were curveballs thrown. Like, I think Image kind of took a step back in some ways.
Sure.
For me, I mean, you had your go-to titles like Saga, and Black Magic, some parts of Lazarus, I think, Gideon Falls. But Marvel actually took a step forward for me with Venom and Immortal Hulk. Some of the Black Panther titles, that Captain America that's out. They did something that I wasn't expecting. They got weird in their books.
Yeah, totally.
And I just didn't see that on the radar. And it might be because they have a new editor-in-chief.
That's right. I remember when that happened, like a year and a half ago. We were talking about it, right?
Yeah,
He's
feels
kind
like
of giving them permission or something to get crazy.
Yeah, it feels like they changed, and it's a good thing. They're giving their writers more freedom, I think.
Sure.
Right.
And they're
That
not.
used to be their problem. They would just pump them out,
Yes.
pump out. Whatever you got, whatever you got, just give it to us. We'll grab some other artists, whatever. We just need to pump this book out, and like that seems like they're not doing that anymore.
Totally, and I mean that's to me the model for success. I think they're looking at Image and saying, well, if we give these writers their favorite character and see what they want to do with it and let them do it, then people will love it and get into it. And you read that Immortal Hulk, that is such a weird, disturbing, like crazy take on Hulk that really just has never been done before. It's only gotten weirder since the issues that we covered. I mean, it's like, it is so bizarre. It's hard to believe that it's a Marvel book. But the last one I was going to name, also DC definitely took a step forward in a lot of ways for me. I'm reading all the titles that I never in a million years thought I'd be reading. I'm reading Batman, Superman, and Catwoman. That's fantastic books. I mean, they're all doing really well.
Batman is so great.
Yes, Batman is just awesome. But one I wanted to mention real quick was Image put out a book in December, I think, called Die. Have you heard of this title?
Yeah, I've heard of it.
It's about these people that get trapped in a D&D game.
Really? D-I-E?
D-I-E. Yeah, and they...
Is that how you spell die?
Yeah. So they get trapped and something disturbing happens and they have to revisit it like as they're adults. And apparently he's building like an RPG game to match the comic that you'll be able to play in accordance with the comic itself. But
That's
yeah,
cool.
I think there's only one issue out, but I read it. It's awesome. And it's a very, very novel idea. No pun intended. So that's my 2018.
Jeff, what do you got?
I was thinking about I had something else on there, and then I just changed it when
Saw that.
we started talking. But I think for me, my highlight been so far is getting into painting miniatures.
That's awesome.
I think for me, after finishing school, it's really a cathartic way to just spend some time. And
I would love it, man.
it can get expensive at first, but
He's holding up the work for him.
yeah, he's just going down.
I
want to see him.
I'm going to suck you in.
Well, first you need to start painting your miniatures. So
I will.
But I think the initial startup is probably a little steep at first, but then it's not like you're spending like all this mad money because you get 10 miniatures. That's going to take you a good 100 hours to paint them all if you do it right.
Yeah.
But no, it's fun to someone that's not good at art and painting.
Yeah, like what you do. You would think it's just a paintbrush, but you put on different coats and stuff before you paint them, and you get, you'll send us the 3 steps or whatever.
Oh yeah, that's like
when I think about painting miniatures, I just imagine just kind of painting it on with a paintbrush and then it's painted. That's not what you're doing.
No, I'm learning how actually artists do shit. I mean, I've painted I free painted an impressionistic painting of this park bench in a park with trees and shit, and it looked intimidating. And then when they helped you, like, this is how you paint. And you're like, holy shit, that makes a lot more sense than just trying to draw it out. And,
Yeah, you should shout out what's his face.
oh,
Sinistro or
Sarastos?
whatever, huh?
Sarastos.
Is that what it is?
That's what I've been, yeah. I mean, I used him as a guide just to, that helps because his first couple of videos, he tells you, like, what brush he's using and after a while.
Washes and stuff to give it definition and whatnot. That's what he does that I didn't know anything about before I watched his videos.
It's crazy. And then you start doing it and you're like, holy shit, I can actually paint this shit. I think my biggest one was that ATST that I did because I went crazy with like putting like I painted the base and it looked like mud and then I made it look like stone and it has like shrubbery and shoved it underneath the feet and I got really detailed with rust and grime and everything. That was crazy.
So Dirk's rubbing off on you.
I
still happen into an artiste.
I don't have a miniature yet, not one. I haven't gotten to it yet.
We'll have to remedy that for you.
We'll fix that.
All right.
All right. Those are some good highlights. On to the next subject.
For sure.
Go check out the horror, philosophy, and culture podcast, Scary Thoughts. Co-hosts Mark Kate and Chad Lott cover classic and auteur horror films, going deep while keeping the conversation light. To listen, go over to iTunes, Stitcher, YouTube, or wherever you like to receive your dark sermons from the curse minds of the damned.
All right. Here we are, everybody. Time to that time of the week when we give the love back to those who gave love to us. This is the YouTube community corner. These people subscribed to us this week.
Thank you.
Weeks back, they're active. If you're doing the same thing as us, look these people up and they'll help you out. They're all great people. I'll start it off with Alpha Omega Wolf Productions.
Nice. I got Old School Savage and Madness Travels Gaming.
All right. I got Ray Pops and Nate Outrage.
I have Der Altzucht and video games since 1971.
Nice. What's the name of the week?
I'm gonna give it to my bro.
Yeah.
Nate Outrage.
Nate Outrage.
I was thinking Old School Savage for a second, but then I'm like, I can't deny Nate Outrage.
Platinum.
Platinum.
You got it.
First platinum of 2019.
First vote and first platinum.
That is awesome.
What are the chances? Congratulations, Nate. That's huge for you. You're about to skyrocket. You have no idea. Your channel's about 10,000 subscribers tomorrow.
Right. Statistics prove this. Look back.
And who'd you have on the stream, Corey?
We had some great stream last week. Streaming Blue Reflection.
So
mainly Brook Chaos.
Before you go any farther, I went to make the thumbnail for Blue Reflection, and I'm Google imaging, and there's one that's got these two girls with a pickle that they're sharing, and then the next one is all these girls lined up just wearing towels, and then the next one is like a girl in this rainstorm in her schoolgirl outfit.
Oh,
and,
wow!
Yeah, they have.
Okay, I'm getting ready.
Yeah.
Ready for the stream. Now I know what to expect.
Rain is a thing. It just happens in Japan. It rains in Japan. They wear white school uniforms, and it adds to the reality of the game. But anyways, great game, great stream. The biggest shout out to Brook Chaos, sticking with it basically the whole stream.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Yeah, we gave a shout out to their friends' channel too. Actually, we didn't give a shout out to it, but we all subbed.
Yeah.
It was good times. Also, Maverick was there. Love you, Mav. And she said she was level 18.
Yeah.
Who gets channel of the all-time name or whatever, you know. We love you, man.
Thanks, everybody.
And that's it.
Yes, thank you.
All right, and I just wanted to this week just mention real quick over the holidays when we pre-recorded all those shows, my father-in-law Steve Webb, who has been a Patreon supporter of us from day one, passed away, and we send out rips to celebrities that we've never met in real life. Steve had a great impact on my life. I know you've met him as well, Corey. But just wanted to say rest in peace.
Rest in peace. Thank you.
Yep. All right, thanks so much, everybody, for listening or watching this week's show. It's important to us that we put the show out for free, but it's not free for us to make. So please consider supporting us over at patreon.com/GCandC.
Yeah, and follow us on Twitter at GCandC, and join our Discord and Facebook groups. Just look up Games, Comics, and Culture.
If you'd like a t-shirt or a sticker, head on over to teespring.com and search for Games, Comics, or Culture or Comically Gaming. You'll find us on there.
And as always, thank you to Fred Thomas for our opening music and Xee Reiter for our logo. And thank you, everyone else, for watching.
Thank you.
We love you. All right, so we're to that point of the show where we go full spoilers on something. We kind of promised you guys. We didn't necessarily promise, but we told you guys that it was going to be about Gideon Falls' most recent issue. That's not the case because we all went and saw this movie over the holiday season. It's called Into the Spider-Verse, and we were blown away.
It was awesome.
Nate, probably the least of us, shockingly.
I don't think so.
I can't imagine.
I don't think so. I don't think that's true, actually.
You didn't give it 10 out of 10.
I think I give it 10 out of 10, probably. Maybe
You
9.
told me,
I give it a 9.8.
you said it wouldn't be your number one movie of the year, though.
It wouldn't be my number one movie.
Nate gave it his number 4.
It's my number one movie of the year.
Yeah. Anyways,
It's
Into
too
the
early to say
Spider-Verse.
that.
Full spoilers.
No, I mean, considering the past year of movies, it's my favorite movie of 2018.
Well,
I think so.
let me just say, like, I'll just make my point quick and then shut up about it. Like, I feel like you can't really compare it to the MCU stuff because it's just different, right? It's like comparing The Witcher to The Last of Us. They're very different. If you're trying to compare them, then you're really just doing it just to have a conversation about it, which is fine. That's what we do, right? But
Yeah, but also, Nate, you do this very thing. You've said before that it should all be judged as one body together.
In which case, I put it behind the MCU stuff. Like, I feel like the seriousness of the story was, I'm a story guy, and the story was a pretty average Spider-Man story. Now, the music, the art, the whole package was awesome, like a million times better than I expected. And
it's the definition of a comic book movie. It's the most comic book a comic book movie has ever felt.
It was, and that's what I loved about it was how they incorporated the comic book chat and comic book.
Boom.
The panels.
The
panels that they did was.
Yeah. Did you read how they did that? So they removed the motion blur, and they basically did the animation and then flattened it into 2D for artists to go back on top of. And that's why you get the lines. They wanted all the frames to be. You can isolate one frame and it would be a comic book panel. You know.
Right.
It's awesome.
That was awesome.
Yep.
It was well done.
I just loved. I mean, Peter Parker dies right away, and then you're like, "Whoa,
yeah,
that's fuck." Well, you get him smashed by the Kingpin, and you're like, "Holy shit!" Like,
and then Fat Peter Parker.
I've never seen the main.
I love Fat Peter Parker.
Fat Peter Parker, man.
Fat Peter Parker was hilarious.
It was so awesome.
And then the whole team of spiders. I mean, it was just great. It just the whole time I just kept getting more and more excited every time they threw something in there. I didn't really. The story was kind of basic, but it was Miles Morales' origin story, and it's by far the best origin story that I've ever seen in any superhero movie, because they incorporated 7 other Spider-Men into it, and they were all fucking hilarious and awesome. Here's my hammer; it'll fit in your pocket.
Dude, Peter Parker? Oh my god!
Yeah.
I thought his and Penny had a little short shift, to be honest. Like,
I did.
His like 20 seconds were awesome, and like for them to like. I wish they would have done that a little bit more in the movie. Had him pull out some crazy cartoons.
They focus more on Gwen and Fat Peter Parker.
Yeah, which is fine. They were great too.
Yeah. I think they were great.
Noir was my favorite.
Spider-Man Noir, yeah.
Right.
That was
It was so funny because he still had the quips, but he was serious and a detective.
Oh, Nick Cage. That was Nicolas Cage.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was Nick Cage.
And I loved Aunt May, dude. She's like,
Yeah, Aunt May was a badass.
come on
That's
down.
just-
And I loved all the spider suits when they went down in the Spider-Man spider cave.
It was cool that Aunt May talked shit to Doc Ock.
That was
Like,
awesome.
when she
Yep.
saw her, she was like, "Great, you again." Yeah,
Yeah.
like it was funny.
I liked the variants on the villains a lot. The fact
agree.
that Doc Ock was a woman. I liked the
Yeah.
Spanish,
Yeah.
the Latino Scorpion.
Green Goblin was just straight up monster.
Roided out lizard. Yeah.
Well,
I
yeah,
think-
the Latino Scorpion was awesome. He was
Yes.
funny.
Yeah, it was awesome. I think what made it for me was when Miles like fully assumes the mantle as Spider-Man was such an awesome moment for me
Yeah.
when he finally like buys into it and does it and jumps off the building and it's just so good, man.
That
I
part
really
when
felt
his
it.
dad was at the door. When his dad was at the door talking to him, I was crying, man.
Yeah. Absolutely.
That's funny. So
I thought it was so great.
we didn't. We haven't mentioned yet. Like, it really impressed me when I saw the credits that Bendis and Stan
Bendis.
Lee produced it.
Yeah.
Right. It's cool
Yeah.
that Bendis is like just ingrained for people like us who I consider myself to pay a lot less attention than Corey and Dirk do, but even who pay a little bit of attention, he's implanting his name all over these years right now, right? Like anything that's quality,
Yeah.
super high quality, like it's not a surprise when you see his name attached to it,
No.
you know?
Yeah. And look what
What's
he's doing in
funny
AC
is-
now. He's
you know
like
what's funny
establishing
is-
a whole nother one now.
When I saw that Bendis' name was one of the executive producers, I brought it up and I'm like, hey, did you see that Bendis was a producer? And some guy overheard me and he's like, Mike Bendis doesn't do Spider-Man. And I'm like, okay, keep on talking, buddy. But,
So nice. Yeah, anyways. And also, the other thing we didn't mention is it was a huge success. It won Best
Yes.
Animated Movie of the Year. And
what I loved is I
it's
could
already
take my
confirmed
kid-
for a sequel and a spin-off.
Yeah.
So,
Wow.
I mean,
I love the fact that I could take my kid to it and not even worry about anything.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
awesome.
You know, there was
and the fact that you can enjoy it just as much as your kid as an adult.
Yeah.
Like,
Well-
it wasn't like a kid
Except for
movie.
Nate.
It did have guns.
Okay.
I
Okay.
like Big Hero 6 was the superhero flick for when my kids were
Okay, so
Too
it's
young
not
for
an
violence.
8-year-old movie.
What's wrong with guns?
I'm just saying.
So,
if you
my
wanna
kid was
totally
6.
kid it up.
And my kid was 6 and he loved it.
Derailing. So,
Focus on guns.
I'll also say that like the comic book version of Spider-Gwen, I was never a fan of. I just never got
Really? I
into
love
it.
Spider-Man.
I never got into Spider-Gwen for whatever reason, but seeing her on film, she was badass. I thought she was great.
She was awesome.
Yeah, and her haircut rocked. After
Yeah, they did. Oh, yeah, when he
That's
stuck his...
dude, that was fantastic.
That was funny.
great
That was
scene.
awesome.
Did you
Everything
catch
Yeah.
that line?
Fucking movie
Did
was
you catch the line when Peter Porker said, that's all, folks?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Like,
The other
Like I
thing-
said, is he allowed to say that?
Yeah.
The other thing, Corey mentioned this. It was an incredibly psychedelic movie.
Yeah.
Very.
Just the work that they put into
If you enjoy
the
psychedelia,
yeah, just
Really
stylistically the glitches and the visuals were just insane. Yeah.
and did you guys stay for the very end?
I did.
The meme?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They finished it with a meme, and it was fucking hilarious. Like, that's such a famous meme, and they nailed it with their weird jaws moving and stuff. It was so funny. I loved that movie. The whole
It was
time.
great.
And everybody I saw it with, we were just enamored with it. It was really great.
Yeah.
That's what got
hopefully-
me to go see it. I mean, it was you guys.
I feel
and
like that's the exact same thing to me. Everybody started talking about it, and like, okay, I guess we have to see it. And I feel like we're gonna get a for the rest of time, right, they're going to start including these into the movies that come out every year, and it's so awesome. Like this has got to be a lot less inexpensive than the the MCU movies that they're making right now. So if they can pull off quality ones, get the kind of viewership that this one gets, we'll keep getting them for a long time. So it's super exciting. I feel like it's jump starting that kind of genre, of high quality animation Marvel flicks, right? Like,
man, my first thought though was not Marvel after I finished, because I started thinking about other things that would work well within an animation setting. I thought of Saga, because Saga cannot be shown on film. He wrote it, BKV wrote it specifically to not show in a cinematic setting. But man,
someday that'll happen. Get ready.
Yeah. I mean, that's what he said. He's like, I don't want this to be converted to a movie.
Well, that's my dad, when he gave it Into the Spider-Verse 10 out of 10 as an animated movie, and I was like, you can't separate it like that. Just give it your score. And he's like, no, you can't compare. And I'm like, with the amount of CGI in movies now, you definitely can't compare them, because they're half, if not more than half CGI.
He's rating it like the Academy. The Academy is going to rate it as an animated movie, and it already won a Golden Globe. So we called it first. It already won a Golden Globe.
Yep.
What's up?
True that.
Beat them to the punch. You don't even have to watch the Golden Globes anymore. Now you know.
Well, like Nate said, though, I'm excited to see more in this style for sure.
Oh yeah.
All right.
As long as they keep it true and they can keep a 6-year-old entertained in a movie theater for 2 hours, that's awesome.
Yeah, that is tough to do.
Yeah.
So that's Into the Spider-Verse. That's GCandC's review of it. We love it.
It was really good. Yeah.
Yep.
Thanks for watching, everyone.
Thank y'all.
That's it.
Check
That's
it out
the end of episode 124.
Later.
New format. Glad to have you back.
Word.
Welcome
back.
Bye-bye.